Hey, this is Raulh of Please Act Right. So Kenya has made an announcement that they will no longer allow 50-50 split of a husband's assets because of a divorce. Kenya was complaining that they were having the same problem in their country that we're having here in the United States. Problems like this.
So there's a few things that I don't do as a married woman. Number one, I do not cook for my husband. I only cook for my children. My husband will be making his own breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Number two, I do not help him pay any bills. So if he is short on the rent, on utilities, or anything like that, it is not my problem. I will not be helping him out. His job is to provide for his family, so I am not financially contributing to any of the bills. Number three, I do not do his laundry. I have my own laundry and my children's laundry to do, so he could do his own. I won't help him put it away. I won't help him fold anything. That's his responsibility. Number four, he is responsible for replacing any of his essentials like soap, shampoo, anything like that. He needs to go buy it himself. Even if I'm at the store, I will not be replacing it for him. If he needs new underwear, new socks, or anything like that, that's for him to do. I'm not going to do it for him. I'm not going to enable a perfectly grown-ass adult because then they get used to that shit. So, no.
Now, I'm not sure if this is a joke or she's actually married, but if she is actually married, if this man decided to fight back and stop paying bills, she'd be ready to divorce him and take half of his assets. Keep in mind, she just said in this video that she's not contributing anything, including finances. But how much you want to bet that she'll ask for alimony in the divorce? But wait, here's more.
Part two of things that I don't do as a married woman. Number one, I do not wake up my children for school. That is my husband's job. The whole getting ready for school is not my cup of tea, so I let him handle that. Plus, I really like to sleep in the morning, so yeah, it's a no for me. Number two, I do not take out the garbage. Number three, I do not clean. So I'm not one of these unrealistic people. Like, my house is lived in and it's gonna be messy, whether you like it or not. Number four, I do not buy birthday gifts, Christmas gifts, anniversary gifts. Like, you will not be receiving a gift from me. I do expect a gift from you though. So you will not be getting anything from me. I will not be spending a dime on you. I'd rather spend money on my children and myself.
Now, even if she's joking, the reality is most women in Western culture think exactly the same way. They tell the man all the things that he has to do for her while telling him she's going to do absolutely nothing in return except show up. So evidently, Kenya's having the same problem, so they implemented a change that the United States should implement also. Take a listen.
Kenya has abolished 50% divorce settlements for women, and here is why. First of all, the idea of splitting a man's matrimonial property with a woman has been proven to be problematic, specifically in the Western countries where divorce is incentivized. Meanwhile, it's becoming popular in certain liberal African countries. A woman marries a man for a couple of years and make a few babies with him, and the next thing you know is she's filing for a divorce. And she's doing this seeking 50% of the man's wealth. And so a 5-man Supreme Court judges in Kenya considered all that's involved in these situations and voted unanimously in favor of amending that law, which President Ruto has signed into law since last year. The new law provides settlement for the lady based on either the financial contribution she's put into their marriage or a certain percentage is allocated to her based on their number of kids, their ages, and also because she provided a conducive home for the husband to live and thrive.
So if she's not cooking, cleaning, or doing laundry, nor contributing financially, she gets nothing. And that's the way it should be. If you do nothing, you get nothing.
I love women, don't get me wrong, and I will never wish bad for them. But the rate of divorce and the reasons behind why the women are quick to file for divorce are getting absurd, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly why the marriage rate has been dropping astronomically in the United States.
It's clear that in many cases the women wouldn't have married the guy if not for the man's money.
How much money does a guy have to be with you?
I want $20K, $20,000 if you want. If you don't have $20,000, don't ask me.
How much money does a guy need to make in order to be with you?
Way over 5 mil.
Over 5 million?
Yes.
Per year?
Yes.
How much does your man have to make for you to marry him?
$100K. Probably like 500.
How much does a guy got to make to be with y'all?
Like $500,000.
I said like 500K.
500K? Yeah. So why y'all think 500K?
Because he got to be able to buy me a boat, a private jet, and we got to be able to take trips every month.
Because I just want to be with a boss, you know?
But we cannot reward that with half of the man's hard-earned wealth when the lady decides to walk away. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for every man to be aware of the times and the trends.
Fellas, pay close attention to this part.
Don't be charmed by beauty, for it won't last. Find a woman who isn't carried away by money and easily manipulated by the trends of friends.
And that right there is the main reason why so many men marry the wrong type of woman, just running after beauty. And like he said, beauty does not last. Unfortunately, the same laws that Kenya has set in place, I strongly believe that the United States won't follow suit, simply because divorce is a big moneymaker through the court system. But if the United States doesn't do something in the near future, I see a tremendous failure on the horizon. Remember when they said in 2030 that the majority of women are going to be alone and childish in the US? Well, that comes at a cost, and the cost will be, with less children being born, the population will eventually die off in the United States. Just like you heard the news from Japan being in a crisis because their population is dying off if they don't start producing more babies. Eventually, you'll see the same thing happening here in the United States. And the women aren't helping by saying that men have to make an astronomical amount of money per year just to be with her, which very few men make. And women saying that men have to spend large amounts of money on first dates and gifts and all that other nonsense that they don't even deserve. It just adds fuel to the fire, simply because more and more men are no longer dating women in Western society. So shout out to Kenya for taking a stance and changing the laws to protect men who work hard for their money so that they can no longer be taken advantage of in a divorce. And as for the United States, the country is headed for disaster if they don't do something soon. And if you've been following my channel, you know I don't just make stuff up. I show proof. And here's some of that proof.
Now we have a clip that is going viral of an elderly person advising young men not to get married.
What advice would you give to your younger self? Don't get married. You're free, man. You're free in the world, so don't get married, please. Don't lose your freedom and your pride, man. You're a man. You're always wanted. I'll tell you, you're always wanted.
Women on average tend to have a cynical expectation of men. It's this posture of, you have to prove to me that you're good enough, while simultaneously expecting that he assumes that you are good enough. Most women aren't coming to this proverbial table acknowledging their faults and saying, this is what I need to work on. Most are coming saying that this is what you need to work on. So even when a woman is encountered with a man who was raised by both parents, there's still an assumption that he has some emotional shortcoming or he doesn't express himself properly. Some women talk to men from a place of emotional or intellectual superiority, and it sets that precedent, and that's what makes him defensive, because now he feels like, oh, what? You're challenging. You're challenging me, and you're expecting the worst out of me. If men are being asked to have grace for women, do our due diligence to understand all the intricacies of what the woman has been through, even her natural cycles and the whole nine, and how that affects her disposition. There needs to be that work done from the female delegation for men. I'm hearing from men that that's not the case. Women are assuming that they've already done the work.
I don't want to obey my husband. And that same woman will go to her job and her boss tells her he wants something done by Monday. She'll say, yes, sir. She goes home, the trash people say, put your trash out on Tuesday. She'll say, yes, sir. She'll go to the hospital, the doctor tells her, take these pills. She'll say, yes, sir. But the man that loves her and wants to provide and protect for her, she has a problem obeying him. That's why you're single.
Where are the men that give princess treatment? Because I'm telling you now, I am not going near another man who doesn't give me princess treatment. I'm sorry, it's not happening, darling, because I want someone who literally is obsessed with me, worships the grounds I walk on, literally kisses my feet. I literally want kisses on my toes, all right? That is exactly what I want. I don't think it's normal to be nonchalant. No, I don't want someone who's just, yeah, you're kind of pretty. No, I want you to literally, as soon as I wake up, I want you to kiss my forehead, tell me I'm the most perfect person you've ever seen on the planet Earth. And I want flowers. I want coffee every day. I want love. I want compliments. I want admiration every single day. Because what do you mean? You're my husband, babe. You are my husband. And I'm going to just settle for someone who doesn't give me that? No, sweetie. No. I would not do that. I'm so sorry. I need someone who literally is so irrevocably in love with me that they cannot imagine a day without me. They are pining for me every single day. They cannot ever take a breath without me in their life.
It's clear that in many cases the women wouldn't have married the guy if not for the man's money.
So you married?
I'm going through a divorce.
What happened with that?
Basically, my husband stopped meeting my expectations.
What you mean?
So when I met him, when I met my husband, I told him what I expect from a man. The number one rule with being with me is you have to provide. I won't settle for anything less. So my husband ended up losing his job.
He had a job?
Yeah,
where he worked at?
He had a job. He was a manager at a warehouse.
Put the mic in so these people can hear you. He was a manager at the warehouse?
Mm-hmm. He was a manager at a warehouse.
Okay.
So he ended up losing his job. He came home and he told me. I'm like, okay, cool. All right. So a month went by and he looked for me to pay the bills. Who paying what bills? So I was going to consider it if he gave me the money back for paying the bills. And he told me no. He felt like he shouldn't have to do that. What do you mean? When I told you, as a man, I expect you to provide. Under no circumstances will I ever touch bills as long as I got a husband. None. If you can you can hear.
He probably happy you gone, though.
I'm sure he missed me.
A headache? That would be a headache for me. Like, I know I just lost my job. What if he lied? You know, niggas do that. Like, I just lost my job, baby, to test.
And with her stank attitude, I wouldn't be surprised if her husband did lie and say he lost his job just so he could get rid of her. And if she thinks he doesn't have his job anymore, she probably wouldn't file for any type of alimony. That would get him off the hook and get rid of her.
I would never in a million years teach my girls that they have to grow up to be reliant on a man, as you can well imagine. I would never teach my son that he should be attracted.
But Tracy, you're the same one. You're the same one who bragged that she's so strong and so tough and doesn't need a man's money, yet you're taking alimony.
I have 3 children. Okay, Mark. You know what?
So, but you don't need a man's money.
We know facts. Marriage is overwhelmingly unsuccessful. It is way more dangerous than skydiving. The chances of a catastrophic skydiving incident is like 0.0003, and one where you die is 0.00001. It's like very limited, the chances of dying from skydiving. Whereas the chances of divorce, again, 56% divorce rate. How many stay together who are unhappy and they just stay together because they don't give up half their stuff or for religious reasons or whatever? This is a technology with an unbelievably bad failure rate. When someone says, I'm getting married, why is it impolite to say, why? Why? You're about to do something incredibly dangerous that fails so much of the time. Why not just say, why? I'm not saying, why would you do that? It's stupid. I'm saying, why? Because most people's answer doesn't make any sense. First of all, you're not even allowed to ask the question why. If anything, if you don't say, oh my God, that's so great, you have intimacy issues.
Hey, somebody had to tell you, and I love you, so it might as well be me. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell to get notified when I post a new video. I post a new video every week. And in the meantime, will you please act right? My name is Raulh. See you in another video. So if you enjoyed this video, check out one of these 2 videos right here. I'm sure you'll enjoy them too. And if you like, you can visit my channel. I have plenty of videos there. Go ahead. Don't be scared.